You've probably heard of the boreal forest that some call the taiga. But if you haven't, it's this big forest that covers much of North America and Eurasia. Precipitation is low, summers are warm, and winters range from moderately cold to extremely cold. Taigas in the northern hemisphere are usually dominated by pine, spruce, and fir, but sometimes they can have larch and willow and birch and aspen and many other types of trees. Some notable outliers to this rule are the boreal forests of Iceland, which are dominated by birch and willow, and the boreal forests of southern Greenland, which are also dominated by birch and willow. The question I'm going to be trying to answer in this video is there an austral forest? And if so, where is it? The answer you'll probably get is that the southern hemisphere landmasses aren't big enough and high enough latitude to have temperature swings necessary for a taiga biome. But I'm pretty sure that isn't actually true. If you look closely, there are parts of Patagonia that fit the bill for a subantarctic forest, or a southern hemisphere boreal forest. Although since it's in the southern hemisphere, it wouldn't be called a boreal forest, it would be called an austral forest. Since nowhere in the southern hemisphere that's at sea level satisfies the conditions of supporting trees and having a coldest month of at or below freezing, anywhere that would fit the bill for a southern hemisphere taiga must have an elevation of at or below 500 meters, otherwise it would be subalpine. Obviously it has to have cold winters, mild summers, and it has to be a forest. But my definition of a forest is different from other people's definitions of a forest. My definition says that in a boreal or austral climate, anywhere that has at least 10 tons of above-ground live woody biomass per hectare is in fact a forest, even if it might include woodlands and shrublands, because many taigas are in fact woodlands or shrublands. Okay, so the only places in the southern hemisphere that fit the bill for subantarctic temperatures are some subalpine areas of eastern Australia, highland areas of the South Island of New Zealand, and highland areas of southern Patagonia. Now, I looked through the South Island of New Zealand tirelessly, and I looked through every single small town that had climate data. None of them reached a 0 degrees Celsius winter threshold at anything below 700 meters above sea level. That's just too high in elevation. Now, Patagonia is a much better candidate because not only is it larger, but it's also farther south than New Zealand. After looking for a bit, I found El Chaltén, Argentina. I think that's how it's pronounced anyway. And you can see in that red circle why I'm so excited. Minus 0.1 degrees Celsius. But this climate data is outdated. Or at least I think it is. As I was looking, I found Puerto Natales, which definitely isn't an austral forest itself, but it is cold enough and at sea level that it suggests that there could be austral forests nearby, just to the north, where the temperature range is just a little bit more. I'm pretty excited at this point because I've basically confirmed the existence of the austral forest, which is pretty fucking cool, because everybody says there's no boreal forest in the southern hemisphere, but as it turns out, there probably is, and I'm pretty confident that it is somewhere in this screenshot. So let's talk a little bit about the austral forest. The summer temperatures average around 10 to 12 degrees Celsius. The winter temperatures average slightly below freezing. Precipitation can average anywhere from a few hundred to over 1,000 millimeters per year. This forest is dominated by Nothofagus species. These species are widespread throughout the Antarctic floristic region. These species can be found anywhere from New Zealand to New Caledonia to New Guinea to Eastern Australia to Tasmania and to Patagonia, as well as Norfolk Island and some parts of southern Brazil and Argentina. Let's just measure where the tree line is here. Why is it so goddamn high? Shouldn't it be like 500 meters? What the fuck?